Right now, the entire SEO community is talking about what it takes to rank in AI, like ChatGPT or Google's AI mode. And one common sentiment that I see keep coming up is that ranking in AI is exactly the same as ranking in Google search because, of course, these large language models use search engines to determine recommendations. So for example, ChatGPT will run a search using Bing when you ask it to provide recommendations on businesses. Of course, Gemini will use Google. Therefore, the rationale is that you should just do the same things you're doing to rank in those algorithms because these large language models have the exact same ranking. Now that's partially true, and everything you're doing that helps with SEO will also help you show up in these large language models. However, it also misses two very important distinctions. One is that not all output from large language models comes from search. These AIs are pre-trained on all the content on the internet and therefore have a very deep understanding of big brands and already an understanding of very small brands. Try asking one of the smaller Flash models about your brand without running a search and you might be surprised how much it knows. And two is that even when these large language models do run a search, they search much differently than humans do. For example, I'm in Orlando, Florida right now. Me and my wife were standing in line at Disneyland and I asked ChatGPT, what are some good games that my wife and I might be able to play on our phone while we're standing in line here at Disneyland? And it, of course, ran a Bing search. But the search query was games for 2 players on mobile device while standing in line. No human would ever search that way because they understand that it's very unlikely there's an article with that title. But these large language models search that way all the time. It's also easier than ever to create high quality content at scale. So that's one way SEO is changing, is it's suddenly worth it to make content addressing these hyper-specific queries. And regarding the first point on brand recognition, it's now more important than ever that your brand is mentioned on the publications that AI is crawling. And unlike traditional SEO, it's much less important that it actually has a link to your website. A mention alone is enough. And these LLMs are way less picky than traditional search engines. I constantly see them citing obscure blogs and even spammy press releases distributed by the company themselves. So while we still don't know what the best practices would be, that's where my bet is right now. And that's what I've been experimenting with, just creating a lot of hyper-specific content and splattering the brand name along with the terms they're trying to be relevant for across the internet.